So 152, we're starting with problem 3. So using our steps, the first thing I need to do is to draw a net for my prism. So on my paper and on your paper, go ahead, put number 3 and circle it. And then I'm going to sketch the net. So when I do that, I always start with my base. And remember, if this is a triangular prism, what shape is my base, guys? Triangle. So I just kind of start by sketching the base. And then I know my faces are rectangles. So then I just sketch my rectangular faces. So I guess, trying to visualize this. 1, 2, so I guess maybe that one. And then I think my other one would come over here. And I'd have my other triangle, goodness, something like that. So I know I need to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should have 5 shapes that I'm finding the surface area of. So then step 2, I need to go ahead and find the area of my bases. So I'm looking at my triangle. I know one side is 6 meters. So let's see, so 6. This side is 8. This little symbol tells me it's a right triangle. So what is the height for my triangle? What would it be, Lexi? 8 meters, right? Okay. I didn't draw my net big enough, so I can do my work to the side. What is your formula to find the area of a triangle? Everybody say it. Divided by 2. So if my base is 6, I'm going to multiply it by my height, which is 8, and divide that answer by 2. Raise your hand. What do you get? Sierra. 24. So we know 6 times 8 is 48, and 48 divided by 2 is, of course, 24 square meters. So inside both of my triangles, I'm going to put 24 because I know that's the area of my bases. After I find the area of my bases, we're moving on to step 3, which is to find the area of my rectangular faces. So I'm going to start with this one, which in our diagram, so if this side is 6, so I think in our diagram it's going to be this one, right? So I know this side is 6, so what would this side have to be? What would you say? 9. Does everybody agree 9? Yeah. So how do I find the area of a rectangle? Just say it. Only like 5 of us know? Okay, so I know area is base times height. And in this case, my base is 6. And my height is 9. And who can tell me what 6 times 9 is?
54.
Ariana? 54 square meters, right? So I'm going to write that 54 right in the middle. Okay, now I'm moving on to these two side faces. What is my formula for the area of a rectangle? Everybody. Oh my gosh, you guys sound like you're asleep. What's the formula for the area of a rectangle? I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys. Okay, so now I'm looking at this rectangle. What are the dimensions of my rectangle? What would it be? Turn and talk with your neighbor.
This rectangle would be the one behind there.
Ah.
It wouldn't be.
We should have two that are 6 by 9, huh?
It would be the two on the outside.
Oh, okay, and everybody stop. Okay, so we're looking back at this shape, and Alyssa brought up a really good point. We kind of goofed on our net. Okay, so this rectangle right here is a 10 by 9, right? But there's only one of them. Then we have this one, which is an 8 by 9, and this one, which is another, oh, this one's a 6 by 9. So we've got 3 different rectangles, don't we? Okay, so we figured out the 9 by 6, didn't we? Okay, so we figured out the 9 by 6. So then we should have a 9 by 8, right? Okay, so this one could be our 9 by 8. But then we should have a 10 by 9. Because this one would be 10. So this would be a 10 by 9. Right? Okay. So depends on how you rotate this. I think I've rotated it. Okay. In the middle?
Yeah, 10 by 9 would always be in the middle, no matter how you rotated it.
Well, what if this was your base? So you could, guys, there's more than one way to do your net. Okay? So you could draw your net with the 10 by 9 in the middle. You could do that also. Okay? As long as you recognize we have 3 different rectangles here, don't we? So what would the area of this one be, the way I labeled it? What would you say, Brianna?
I have a question. Why the middle one, if it was 9 times 10, why would the top, let's just say that was 10, then the one above it, it would be 6, the triangle, for the base, that one is 6, and then the one below it would be...
Okay, so the way I drew it, okay, this side is 6, and this would be what it's sitting on. I rotated this in my mind. So if you rotated it and you had a 10 by 9, okay, so then you would have to have the long side of your rectangle, right? And then that would be a 6.
That would have to work, yeah.
And then you'd have, see, you're going to wind up with 3 different size rectangles here. Okay? So you would have a 10 by 9. Here you have a 9 and an 8. So another side would have to be Yeah, so this one, we've got, so that would have to be an 8, right? So you can draw a net in more than one way, because it depends how you rotate that shape and unfold it. Okay? Guys, let's focus on this problem, though. What do I need to do next? Looking at this rectangle, I have a 10 by 9. Grant.
So you would have to multiply 10 by 9, which is 90, and then for the next at the other rectangle, you would have to multiply 8 by 9, which is 72.
Which is 72.
And then you add them up.
Okay, now hold on. Grant's ready to solve. Okay, go ahead, add up your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers on your paper. So show your thinking. You actually need to show where you've written out your numbers. Blake, you have an answer? On this one? Oh, the one above 2 flipped. Okay. That is so hard for me to draw those. But I do have each side. Alright, Lexi, what'd you get?
I got 264 meters squared.
Okay, so 264 square meters. Raise your hand if you got that when you added it up. Alright, so guys, here's what you need to do. You need to draw your net. And in your net, you need to draw, or you need to write, the area of each side. Okay? Really keep your eye on it, because just like we noticed with this triangular prism, we had 3 different rectangles, right? With 3 different dimensions. So I can't just find the area of one and multiply it by 3, can I? I have to think about them as separate rectangles. Start with your bases and then do your faces. Okay, go ahead, move on to number 4. When you're done, put down your pencil. I shouldn't hear you. What's the problem? I need to call some parents? Because that's what I'm thinking.